Hello guys. Floyd Shivambu was briefing the media yesterday talking about his party, Africa Mayibuye. So he was basically talking about the party, how are they going to handle the local elections. And the funny part, he also deployed Papa Penepeni, which they're all coming from the MK. But I guess this is the politics of South Africa. It's just so funny, guys. And then, yeah, from there he talked about the March and March, how he agrees with Mukunu, Ngizu Mukunu, and the March and March in Jacinta, how they conduct themselves throughout the march, and he dismantles or he disputes those who are in a disagreements with the March and March because he's all about against illegal immigration and all of that. So it seems like now he's all about disputing whatever Malema is against. So yeah, it's politics of South Africa, guys. So Upa Penipeli is part of the group now, and he also talked about how he wants the Matlanga Commission to extend so that they can keep on digging the treasures of South Africa or the criminality of South Africa. So yeah, and then he talked about how they're going to work forward their local elections. So we'll see how they'll work in their local elections as well, because the party is just new, it's not that old, but already it's moving faster than a bear. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Love you, Mzanzi. Bye.
And our view, by the way, in relation to the protests that are led by Ngizu Mkunu and the people of March in March, is that all the concerns that they are raising are legitimate. And we will not join into the band of those who want to delegitimize and insult those who are saying that we've got a sitting crisis of undocumented and illegal immigration in South Africa. It confuses planning. It confuses the allocation of resources. It confuses responses as to just how many houses do you need to allocate? Just how many informal settlements do you want to formalize? Just how many jobs are you going to create for our people? And one of the issues that we highlight, including in our foundational documents, is that the private sector, business owners, are the primary beneficiaries of illegal immigration in South Africa. We say it here in our documents. We say it here in the Restoration Manifest that the primary beneficiary of illegal immigration in South Africa is the private sector, because they go and employ these unprotected workers from other parts of the continent. They employ our brothers and sisters from the continent who are not documented, and then on their payday, they call police on them. On payday, they remind them that, remember, you are not here in South Africa legally. When they try to form a union, they say, remember, you're not allowed to form a union. And that happens even in the construction sector as well. Even in the mining sector, in the agricultural sector, during harvesting season, it's worse. In the hospitality sector, it's the most dominant feature to choose to employ undocumented and illegal immigrants into South Africa. So the issues that Ngizu Mkunu and those that he is leading are raising are legitimate. It will not help anyone to stand on the sidelines and insult people who are raising legitimate concerns. We need to sit down and talk as to just how do we resolve the crisis of illegal and undocumented immigration in South Africa. And part of the immediate solutions will be to criminalize the employers who purposefully employ illegal and undocumented immigrants into South Africa, and take firm action against those. There must be serious consequences so that our people are given jobs, because it looks like the jobs crisis in South Africa will never be resolved. Because if you think that you must create 2 million jobs, when you create those 2 million jobs, now you have got additional 2 million people who take those jobs, and then the unemployment crisis remains as is. So we as Mayibuye, we do not delegitimize those who are fighting against illegal and undocumented migration. And we will actively engage with them. We'll sit down with them to say, what are the practical interventions that we can make, even towards local government elections? There are certain things that a local state can do in relation to undocumented migration, particularly on the licensing of small businesses and the so-called spaza shops, which are 90%, if not more, utilized by those that came from elsewhere. So our call as well for Black economic solidarity is that let us support each other. Because the other problem as well is that even when a Black person opens a small scale trading, we still think that it's better for us to go and buy from someone that we do not know than those that we know every day. Our people's businesses get drowned because we do not support each other. We're making a statistically surveyed observation here that as Black people, we collectively earn more than 2 trillion rands every year. But we spend majority, if not the entirety, of our earnings as social grants, as wages, as dividends for those who are in business. We expend that amount of money on people that are not like us, that do not look like us. We enrich even the white capitalists. And we think it is progress when ShopRite and Pick and Pay and Spar invades our areas. We don't see anything wrong with even when all these other retailers invade our areas. We think it is status to associate with them instead of supporting our own people in terms of businesses so that we can collectively prosper. And that is the principle which Africa Mayibuye movement is always preaching and say we should promote in any given moment. So that is our position in terms of how we deal with these issues, is that let us talk, all of us as the people of South Africa, on how do we sustainably resolve the illegal and undocumented migration question instead of throwing insults at each other and undermining each other's integrity whenever we're supposed to come with solutions. Thank you very much. Papa Penny was a member of parliament representing another organization, which we do not want to talk about today. And before that, he was a councillor for more than 10 years, for more than 2 terms in the Greater Giyani municipality. He was the best performing councillor for Ward 5 in Greater Giyani municipality and a dependable force who is going to lead our program for campaign in the Greater Giyani local municipality. And comrades, in conclusion, we want to remind all the members of Africa Mayibuye movement that we must always abide by our own principles, which is the principle of Ubuntu, of honesty and respect, of sound and superior alternative. On issues that relate to crime in South Africa, we as Africa Mayibuye movement appreciate the important revelations that are coming out of Madlanga Commission regarding the infiltration of South Africa's criminal justice system by criminal syndicates and corrupt actors and leaders. So Mayibuye calls for the extension and expansion of the time frames and mandate of the Madlanga Commission so that it can investigate criminality across all spheres of society in South Africa, including all the municipalities, and also including the South African Revenue Services, and all state-owned companies, but also the South African National Defence Force. There's been a lot of issues that are raised about the South African National Defence Force that need urgent intervention. We also
Deputy Nolubabalo Mcinga. Just in terms of what you're seeing in the MK party, are you surprised at the turn of events, including the suspension of the leadership of people like Nhlamulo Ndlela?
No, look, I honestly do not give my time and attention to what happens in Umkhonto weSizwe. There's a lot of work that Mayibuye Africa is busy with. I do not pay attention to what MK is doing. I also don't believe that MK belongs in the future. It will disappear with those that lead it. Like there's nothing really to worry about. So whatever happens there, let it happen.
I take it you no longer like, a dual member. There was a point where there was talk about
no,
you.
I'm not a member. I'm not a member of Umkhonto weSizwe.
Yeah.
I'm the president of Africa Mayibuye movement, and I'm leading this organization with full dedication, and that is where we pay our attention to.
Right.
And we are an organization, of course, that interprets and takes up all the issues that our communities are raising and bring them the necessary focus so that they are resolved collectively. So that is where we focus on. What happens in MK must happen in MK. What happens in the ANC must happen in the ANC. What happens inside the EFF must remain there. Our focus now is to persuade majority of the people of South Africa that we are the correct vessel and vehicle towards total freedom and emancipation now and for the people of South Africa.
All right.